a lot of the entry criteria that I need. Touch of liquidity, a nice order block, a nice break of structure, and then a reaction all the way to the downside. Top over here, this is on the 1 hour time frame. Mind you guys, 1 hour time frame, right? Slowly coming to the order block. My stop loss is big because I welcome back to another YouTube video of FlareFX, where we make trading very simple. Now in today's video we'll be doing gold and Nasdaq, one of you guys' fan favorite. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button, make sure to turn on the post notifications, guys. A lot of you guys are watching my videos but unsubscribed. Also make sure to hit that like button. 10 likes is more than enough for me to keep this thing going, but nonetheless watch till the end for all the nice gems. All right, you guys already know how I like to do my thing. We'll start off with Discord. Shout out the new guys. We have RT, we have Dinero, we have Gift FX. Like, there's a lot of you new guys. It was 78 now, I think. Let me see. It was 70, 76, 77 relatively. I just want to go over my few of the things that I also do sell. This is my mentorship, group mentorship, and then this is my one-on-one mentorship, and then this is my signals. If you are interested, guys, please make sure to check the link down in the description. Everything will be on my Instagram. I'm sure you can see it like as the video progresses, but nonetheless, stay chill till the end. All right, guys, so this is my Instagram, fled.fx_. We're on 1187. We're growing heavy, guys. I love the fact that you guys are responding to all the reels that I'm putting out, guys. I do respond more often on my Instagram, more than any other social media app. Then we have my TikTok also growing very nice and favorable. We're on 3128, guys. Let the family flare keep on growing. But nonetheless, let's tap into the whole breakdown. So now I am going to be looking at gold and Nasdaq today. Beautiful setups. The only problem I had, or the only situation that happened throughout the week, is that gold did come to the entry, but it didn't tap us in. It just literally wicked and pushed all the way to the bottom. But I will explain everything, right? So now I want us to look at gold from the 4-hour time frame, right? Because as much as it is, there's not much price to compare on the far left, right? So we are focusing on gold relatively over here, right? And then the main points I want to focus on is relatively this whole price section over here. Let me just even mark out the lows and the highs. Marking out the lows and the highs, or the 4-hour lows and highs, make it easier for you to understand where you're focusing in terms of my price action, right? Because a lot of us be trading the 4-hour time frame, and then we'll look too far back, we're too zoomed out, you get what I mean? So having like a top and a bottom to kind of understand where we're focusing on, and it's relatively this zone over here. So any price action between this point and that point is where I am focusing on, and then I come in with our market structure, right? So with market structure, we can clearly see this is the most prevalent low, right? Just after that, and then price did this, it did that, all the nice stuff. Let me just even highlight all the obvious highs and lows that I see, because we're trying to understand market structure here, right? Price made this high, pushed all the way here, made this high, made this low, and pushed, and then we can classify this as a change of character, right? Boom. I just want to show you market structure in and of its depth, right? This is on the 4-hour time frame on gold. Price continue to move higher and higher, further breaking structure, as you can clearly see over here. Boom, clean cut finish. Now price pushed all the way to the top, came all the way to the downside, then broke this low over here, right? Then we can classify this as a new change of character. Now we're looking for more sells, because price had came over the way to the downside and broke this low, right? Now price began to push all the way to the top, then continue to push in the bottom, so we'll classify this as a break of structure. Boom, right? Beautiful stuff. So now what we're looking at is relatively what's happening between this point here and this point here, right? Right now I was anticipating, or during the week I was anticipating, that gold would come to this order block over here, right? Which it did, but it didn't necessarily tap it in, right? So I don't know, a part of me wants to classify this as liquidity still resting, right? Because price could wick into this one. But also at the same time, let me check it on the 2-hour time frame actually, just to make sure it makes sense. Yeah, like it could be a very good zone to execute off, or maybe I'm not highlighting it to its fullest depths. I'll take this green ray just to make sure that it is. You see, it hasn't tapped us in, and then what price did is it basically left this over here. Boom. Right, but one thing I have noticing about gold, right, it doesn't usually come back, like it doesn't retrace to the order blocks that initially broke. So check this out, we have this order block over here, right, and gold didn't come to that. We have this order block over here and gold didn't come to that. So I am anticipating that gold won't come to this one, but we'll see. Like, I think having that in mind, it does make sense. So I'll remove that order block now. I'm looking at the current market price action that's happening over here, right? So for me, I can clearly see that everything that's happening over here is internal structure. right? Everything that's happening here is internal structure. I am anticipating that gold will push all the way to the top just to sink lower and lower, right? But now, where am I gonna enter in terms of buys to allow gold to push up, or put myself in a position where I can be included in this, right? This is where I like the 1 hour time frame. I think it is the 1 hour time frame that looks so much better. Check it out, right? This is gold on the 1 hour time frame. I see a nice patch of liquidity over here. Boom. I'll even label it nice with an X, right? Clean cut finish. I see a beautiful order block over here. I'll highlight it like this, right? But I'm also seeing that this order block is responsible for this break of high. So I'll mark this out as a break of structure. For me, this takes out a lot of the entry criteria that I need. Purge of liquidity, nice order block, a nice break of structure, and then a reaction all the way to the downside, right? I'll remove all my ticks. Now check it out. This order block that we can see over here, it looks really nice on the 1 hour time frame, right? Executing on this would make sense, right? But now, with the way gold is approaching it, it's very, very, very impulsive, right? So your stop loss is going to be a little bit different and a little bit what do you mean, tweaked? You get what I mean? So for me, looking at this in and of its own, I do reckon that gold will push up a bit, right? But now I am very curious. Let me just mark it out like this. I'll even put it over here because I'm anticipating that gold will react. So if it does react, this would probably be take profit 1, right? And then my stop loss would have to be a little bit lower and lower relatively over here, right? We'll even push it just a little bit to the left, right? Looks really nice, looks really clean, right? This would be initially take profit 1. Take profit 2 would go all the way to the top over here. I'll just highlight this zone that I see over here. I'll classify this as a supply zone. Boom. Over here, right? And I'll remove this support and what is this premium and discount thing. So now what I am seeing is that I am anticipating to come into this order block over here, bounce off of this zone, and then push all the way to the top just to react. So we can see something similar to this, right? Boom, all the way to the top, and then push all the way to the downside. That's what we'd like to see. But in the most realistic terms, me understanding gold likes to even wick, right? So we can anticipate it to play around. Even the stop loss, is a bit risky. So allowing it to breathe as much as you can makes more sense, right? What I would say is, let me show you. Maybe pushing it all the way to the downside, even going for 1:3, like relatively like this. I just want to get that somewhere here, like a 1:3 is more than enough, right? You're allowing your market or your price action or your entry to breathe, guys. Like that's the main thing that really matters, especially with gold, right? So I'll just remove all of this, right, and then I'll run it back again. So what I am anticipating is that gold will push all the way to the top over here. This is on the 1 hour time frame, mind you guys, 1 hour time frame, right? Slowly come into the order block. My stop loss is big because I understand gold likes to wick, right? It likes to go for the liquidity. It likes for the people who are suffocating their stop losses, right? Immediately once that happens and it moves all the way to the top, I am anticipating it to react over here. With gold, me knowing it the way it does, it can reverse a bit earlier than this order block over here that I highlighted, right? So we just need to be patient, but so far it's looking really nice for buys into sales, right? Make sure that you do check the full video on the full breakdown even on Instagram, and I do post it nonetheless, guys. But let's move over to Nasdaq. All right, so this is Nasdaq on the daily time frame. Let me just go to the daily time frame right quick. We are at our all-time highs. There is no price action all the way to the far left that we can trade off of, right? But I mainly put this one out here just for us to understand how we can leverage this type of market, right? So I've been looking at it for a while, right? I am anticipating a lot of things to happen, especially looking at it from the daily time frame. For example, the main reason I am bringing Nasdaq now, you'll see. So we have this low and we have this high, right? I think this is the range we're playing in, and the main reason I'm saying this is because, let me go to the 4 hour time frame. We've began to see a change of character on the lower time frames, right? This is a nice change of character that we can clearly see over here. Boom. Here, nice change of character, right? But we need to understand that we're playing with such a huge range, right? Nasdaq can retrace or reverse anytime, right? Even if you could take this guy over here, this is the premium and discount tool that I use, right? All the way to the top over here. This is the 50% zone, right? So this zone over here is very important to see how Nasdaq is gonna react in terms of buying, right? I still foresee it buying more and more, but now this is an important zone that we need to be very cautious about, right? yet again, Nasdaq could just keep on pumping all the way to the top, right? But I can already see there's a nice purge of liquidity over here, right? And the main reason I really like Nasdaq this week or the upcoming week is because it didn't break this thing correctively. It broke it impulsively. It was just a straight downward push, and then lows were taken out, right? So now let's go over to the 2-hour time frame. We could break it down slower by slower just to kind of understand what's happening. As you can see here, Bryce did marinate these lows over here, right? And then the order block that we could be looking at is this one. It's at its all-time high, guys. So you never know if it is gonna carry on buying or not, right? But it is a very good zone to execute off of, right? In terms of like sales, right? I'll just mark out this zone and then start going to the lower time frames to kind of see what we are looking at. Nice candlestick on the 1-hour time frame as well. Nice push all the way to the downside. For me, in retrospect, even if I wasn't seeing that we were at our all-time highs, this is a trade that I would take, right? And the main thing that's making me really interested in it as well is because of this guy over here, right? It's been bouncing off of this order block over here, as you can clearly see. So a lot of sales there are a lot of aggressive buyers as well, especially in this zone, because look at this push all the way to the top, right? So now what we can anticipate is that price could push all the way to the top, right? Respect this order block over here. We could anticipate some wick action over here, guys. So just make sure you understand that. And then price could come in lower and lower, form like a bigger retracement. Let me just zoom in my screen just a little bit so we can make it look nicer. Yeah, check it out. Retrace. Then we further get into the zone over here, right? This is the main important one because I feel like that's where I'm anticipating some strong reversals, right? But the main guy I am focusing on a lot is this order block over here. I'll just show you guys. Boom, right? And then I'll highlight it. I'm very interested to see how it's gonna react when it gets to exactly here, right? And if you think about it, this is relatively your psychological zone, like your 19,000. You get what I mean? We just reached 20k. We're gonna probably come back to 19,000 or even react off of the 5,000 19,500 mark, right? So for me, I've understood, like with your Nasdaq, it does, psychological numbers do play a huge role, because already you can see it retraced relatively around the 20,000, as you can clearly see over here. Or you guys can't see. Let me just move this thing all the way to the far left so you guys can see it properly. Look at over here, right? This is 20,000, right? We are on 19,000 relatively over here, right? So it makes sense. But I'm also saying even 500 can make sense. Already you can see over here, we're relatively on the 600 over here, so price could retrace anyways, right? So I'll just push this back all the way to the far left, far right again. But that's what I'm seeing on Nasdaq, guys. Like, psychological numbers do play a role. Your 19,000s, your 19,500s, your 20Ks, they do make a huge difference, especially when you're trading your indices, your German 30s, your US 30s, your NAS 100, your SPF 500, because there's long-term investors. Certain people want to get out at certain price points. Sometimes the candlesticks and the fundamentals don't really matter, because a lot of the investors and a lot of the institutions understand that they want to leave or sell or close their positions off at a certain price point. So you need to understand that it's totally different for currencies, mainly because there's so many economical factors that are involved in this type of markets. But with indices, it's a totally different playing field, guys. So you need to understand that, see how you can execute and leverage the markets the best possible way you can, guys. But nonetheless, it's yet another week, yet another dollar. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button if you watch till the end. Make sure to hit the comment button. Listen to me saying comment. Make sure to hit the post notification, comment, any likes. 10 likes, you know they keep me going, guys. Nonetheless, thank you for your time and watching to the end. Mr. Flame signing out.